SkyFOX TOC News Radio. Any chance please to reset in the IFB? Yeah, not hearing it, mate. No worries. Good. I got you. Thank you, Francisco. Yeah, I got you, Michelle. Thank you. I got you, Francisco. Yeah, I got you there, Francisco. Have you got me, mate? Thank you, brother. I can hear off air, no worries. Yeah, g'day, Jan. We're on the southbound 14 freeway here. CHP are pursuing the silver vehicle here. I believe it's a silver Ford. And this pursuit started probably about 20 to 30 minutes ago out in the Palmdale area. They were reaching speeds of up to 120 miles per hour on the streets there, not the freeway, the streets. So currently we have about 3 or 4 CHP units in pursuit, no aerial unit or asset overhead at this stage. So probably the issue trying to bring this to a stop is they've probably just got to keep following this till this driver decides to get off, or that car slows down, or they take an exit. That's about all we can tell at this stage. Obviously dark windows, unsure of how many passengers or people are in the vehicle. Obviously do know there is a driver. The original want or why they're trying to stop this vehicle is because speeding. He's obviously speeding right now up to about 102 miles per hour. So he's got the pedal to the metal down there as he heads back down towards the 210 freeway in Los Angeles, Jen.
Perhaps driving in the wrong lanes onto oncoming traffic. What have you seen otherwise?
Goodness, so
I mean, because these speeds, look, 120 miles per hour right now, but this is on the freeway, still so dangerous.
Yep, I apologise, Sandra, just get a little bit of a break up there. Yeah, he's been driving quite erratically. You know, we saw him there just make a smooth try to transition between the HOV lane. Now he's going into the number 3 lane. That's the way they've been driving the whole time. You're correct. Those streets up there in Palmdale, although they're not that heavily populated, there are lots of people and there are lots of T intersections there. So very dangerous to be speeding through that area. Here we are, is heading back down or heading closer to the, I believe it's the 5 freeway is going to approach very soon here. We're going through the Newhall area, still doing pretty big speeds at 103 miles per hour. CHP still behind him. Again, they originally wanted his guy for speeding, so let's hope that something happens to that vehicle, maybe possibly runs out of fuel. He was going to possibly take the exit there, but has decided against it. So
yeah,
he probably knows, at this stage it looks like he doesn't even know where he's going.
well, the problem when you're driving this fast is there is little to no room for error. And every time he comes close to another car, I'm holding my breath right now, hoping that it doesn't get bad. But look at all the cars that are in front of him. This was wide open for a few minutes, and now all of a sudden it's getting a little bit more congested where he is right now. Justin, do we know how this pursuit began and where?
Yeah, we believe it started up in the Palmdale, Lancaster area. Again, here he is riding on the shoulder on the outside as he's made the transition to the 5 freeway. This is just post-morning drive traffic, and we do believe, we understand, it was really just a speeding want. The unusual to follow the vehicle for this amount of time. CHP are aggressive if they really want to keep people safe on the road, so they're after this guy for speeding. Could possibly be something more because the guy has been reaching speeds of up to 115, 120 miles per hour. And as he goes heading into Los Angeles area, I believe we're on the Granada Hills. Again, you can see that CHP vehicle. It's calling out the shots. You have several vehicles behind that, basically just trailing. And again, at this stage, no airship. And wow, look at that. That guy's sliding. He really wants to get somewhere fast.
And at this point, sometimes, you know, CHP law enforcement officials have to make that call, whether it's worth it to continue this pursuit or back off a little bit. And then usually sometimes suspects slow down and aren't as dangerous. But clearly they're after this guy, whether it's for speeding or something bigger. But again, they have to make that call on whether or not it's to their advantage to pursue this man or this suspect in this silver vehicle or not at this point, because when there is a pursuit, sometimes it's creating a more dangerous situation for everyone.
Yeah, that's correct. It looks like he's actually taking an exit here. This is the Roxford exit into Granada Hills. He's still doing quite 70 miles an hour as he's taking this exit, and he's going to head northbound into Granada Hills under that underpass there. Interesting to see whether he decides to get back onto the 14. He's actually popping through here, and he's actually heading eastbound, I believe.
Wow.
Okay, it was interesting to see
wow,
him
still
blow
going
through those
incredibly fast on those side streets.
So confirmation there, ladies, that there actually are other people in the vehicle. We have there's people in the back seat.
Yeah.
Unclear who that is. The window's down. Possibly, and the vehicle also looks like it's got a little bit of front end damage there to the right passenger side of the vehicle. Oh, erratic driving, almost clipping those vehicles.
So we're hearing reports that this driver was actually, or
anticipating they're going to do a runner here.
Oh,
they're obviously looking for a spot to possibly get out and run.
Yeah, you can see there is some front end damage to the car. We also heard reports that possibly somebody inside of the car was throwing things out of the car at one point earlier on.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It's quite a thing that they do. People who are wanted do try to get rid of evidence. That's why the CHP or other law officer units, agencies try to follow. Here they're getting out, doing a runner, they're jumping out. There's the passenger and there's the driver. We'll stick with the driver because he's the one that's probably done the most damage here. He's bald-headed, got a beard under the tree, Jeffrey.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this is a residential area, and oftentimes when we do follow these pursuits, the suspects do go, in fact, to a neighborhood that they know. So it'll be interesting to see whether they know this area, where they're going.
Do we know, are there authorities in the immediate area? Because I don't really see any from our shot.
There is a CHP airship that's over the top.
Okay.
And we got one of the guys running here. I believe that looked like that was the passenger. We'll just stick with him, at least we know. And he's running up in the street there, trying to find a place to hide. At this stage, no ground units, but there is an aerial unit above directing them in. You can see the shadow of the aerial unit there. We'll just stick with this guy because he seems the most obvious one that we may keep an eye on and see what happens to him.
So this is the passenger that exited the vehicle from...
He climbed a fence.
The front passenger, right? I believe there was also a passenger in the back seat as well. So I don't know where that passenger took off to, but also the driver running a different direction. Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow, he's scaling fences and going on people's property at this point, trying to get away from authorities.
Yeah, you got to imagine it's quite dangerous running through people's backyards. You know, people have dogs and are also armed. So, you know, this gentleman probably trying to find somewhere safe to hide himself just for that as well, to avoid any homeowners. He's obviously under the trees there. I'll just go a little wider to see whether we see any CHP or law enforcement units there. Nothing at this stage. But we do know, as I said, the aerial units are here. Jeffrey didn't mind orbit, mate.
And you really feel for the neighborhood, the residents there having no idea what's happening, and people in their backyards and on their properties, and the danger that exists right there. You see
there's
those
dogs over here.
now
Wow.
barking at the suspect who's hiding under the tree. And you have to also assume that perhaps these suspects do know this area as well, and that is why they pulled over. But what streets are we talking about here, Justin?
Yeah, I'm just finding those streets out there for you. It's 15460, and it's actually El Cajon Street.
Okay.
15460 El Cajon is the address where this gentleman is running, and looks like the dogs are doing their job there.
That's right. It looks like he's getting
telling...
spooked by the dogs that are right there. He might be hiding underneath those trees, especially if you know that police airships are in the sky, monitoring where you're at. I
guess they were over this area here before, and we can see one ground unit, 2 ground units have arrived here, and 3 actually. They're I can't tell whether they're taking anybody else into custody over here. They are aware that there is that gentleman in the backyard. There is the airship just flying through the bottom of the shop there. Again, this is where the driver ended up, so we're unclear whether he stayed in that area or continued somewhere else. But we do remember we do have the passenger over here. And it looks like the dogs are quite excited again.
Yeah, hiding under those trees. Maybe he's making a move and we just can't see it at this point. But yes, a number of dogs doing their jobs, right? As guard dogs of that property, barking and making a commotion, kind of indicating to law enforcement officials there on the scene where one of these suspects
Right,
are.
just follow the dogs. And they'll tell you.
Yeah, it looks like the dogs might have lost a little bit of interest there. So unclear whether the gentleman has moved on. We're going to try and move SkyFOX around a little bit to see whether we can shoot under that tree and get some indication whether he has moved elsewhere.
And again,
at this stage,
yeah, go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, I apologize. At this stage, law enforcement still on the corner here. They haven't made their way towards that house where the gentleman was taking refuge. We do actually have a person that was walking on the street, probably unaware of what's going on. So hopefully they'll be safe. And we're just going to move around here. We believe this is the backyard where the gentleman was. The dogs, you see them there, still a little excited. And I wouldn't be surprised if the guy is taking refuge in this area and here, just because, oh, there we got some movement.
Oh.
The dogs. So,
the dog's moving.
Yep. Yeah, great indication, you know.
Justin, are you hearing if any other suspects in the car have been arrested just yet?
No, unfortunately, I'm not hearing anything like that. Indication would be that the CHP units probably do have an idea where that other suspect is, because there were in this area on this corner. You can see them down here. They were hanging out here, looking in that area, but the other units have moved up to in front of the address that we mentioned, and I believe going to make their way into the backyard and see whether they can find this suspect. A situation like this actually could become just a coordinated or a cordoned off area where they have to, you know, block down the streets and almost walk house to house to try and get this individual to come out. And as you know, put in the police dogs. Obviously, when you 9 times out of 10, when a suspect hears that dog bark, the police dog, they usually come out with their hands up.
Again, you're watching what is the end of a pursuit that started in Lancaster, originally CHP officials following a silver vehicle for speeding, and it's all ending here with suspects on the run. We will take a break, Justin, and come right back to this after the break.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Yeah. Hey, Jeffrey, any chance of getting an orbit around, mate? They're saying here, mate, suspects here. Hey, thanks, Dave. That's the address there. Okay, 10-4, thanks, Mellis. Michelle. Hey, Jeffrey, any chance to reposition, or I just wanted to have a different view? Great, thanks, Dave. Good afternoon, Justin O'Brien up in SkyFOX with Jeff, the pilot of SkyFOX, up here in the Syllmar area, Los Angeles. The end of a pursuit, 2 to 3 suspects. It was 2 suspects, I believe, jumped out of a vehicle after a pursuit that started in Lancaster. A good 30 to 40 miles this pursuit traveled for. It speeds up to 120 miles per hour. Came to an end out here at the El Dorado and El Cajon streets in Syllmar. One suspect we saw jumped the backyard and a couple of fences into these backyards here. and we saw some dogs. You can see one dog there. These little dogs were all barking, so it gave us evidence that the gentleman who had run from that vehicle was taking refuge under the trees here somewhere. CHP ground units are on scene here, and obviously just trying to get these guys to come out. They've set up a perimeter, and they've told everyone to hold their position just to make sure that these suspects don't slip through the area. You can see there that helicopter, that's a CHP helicopter that's giving some aerial assistance for these units that are on the ground. The last location that we did spot this suspect, who I believe was the passenger of the vehicle, he was making his way, actually climbing along the fence, and then disappeared in this area here behind these cars. So a lot of little hiding spots there, but with the technology that the air assets have with the CHP, they should be able to get a heat signature to find out if there is anybody still hiding in that area. Again, the units arrived very quickly, so they were able to lock it down. So I would expect that these two suspects have taken refuge here and are hoping that their hiding spot is as good as when they were kids, just trying to hide, not be found. But lots of law enforcement out here, so there's probably a pretty good likelihood that these gentlemen will be arrested. The original reason they were pursuing this vehicle, which is actually over this area here, is that, just bear with me while I pan across. This is where the vehicle came to an end. They exited the vehicle, came down the 14 freeway, got onto the 5, and then took the Roxford exit there and along a few side streets, and then came to a stop here. You could instantly tell there a few blocks out that they were going to do a runner because the passenger started opening his door. You can see the vehicle there has a little bit of damage to it, and as the original reason why they were chasing these guys was for speeding. And I can't understand if you're speeding why you'd get out of the vehicle and run unless there was something you were trying to hide. So there are also other reports that I unconfirmed that they threw some items from the vehicle. They would suspect that those items could either possibly a weapon or something that was stolen. So at this stage, CHP have locked down this area of El Dorado and El Cajon in the Syllmar area while they look for these suspects. And they're treating it very seriously. We've seen a few residents in their backyards. You can see the CHP officer there. I believe he actually has a rifle out, his long gun. We'll push in a little bit so we get a better look there. Yes, you can see he's got the long gun, the rifle, shouldered over his shoulder there, just in case. And we're just having word of a location where they may be. Yes, go ahead, mate. Yes, I was, mate. Yep. No problem, mate. Yeah. Yeah, I apologise. Just had to do some technical chat there with our guys back at the studio at Fox and Bundy. We're hearing word that, as we said before, the one of the suspects that did a runner jumped into this backyard. You can see the homeowner there searching around. He is not a suspect, but he's actually going into his own backyard to see if anybody's there. Maybe a more braver man than me. You don't have no idea whether these suspects are armed. Law enforcement are doing a very, very slowly approach here. Obviously, his dogs are giving him some sort of indication there is someone or something in the backyard here. So this is the last, as I said, the last known location for that suspect, and there is no indication. We saw a lot of, you see here, a lot of open land. So at the time we were focused purely on these trees, and we saw no indication of anybody running across that open land. Again, here's the homeowner, and he's going to probably make his way back towards the street to talk to the CHP officers. So again, if you're not familiar, this is the end of a pursuit that began out in the Palmdale, Lancaster area. It's about 30 to 40 miles north of Los Angeles, and it's come to an end here in Syllmar, which is the area which is again in the San Fernando Valley, at the edge of the valley, north end of the valley near the 5 freeway. It was a pursuit vehicle. 2 people got out of the vehicle and ran. The passenger made his way up this street here. You can see here are 2 CHP vehicles who were in the pursuit, made it to this area as quickly as possible, and the suspect jumped the fence, this fence here actually, and then was able to climb this cement wall, then made his way along top of the wall into this back alley somewhere. This was our last known location, so we believe he is here. We've got someone here. This is a homeowner by the look of it, going through his backyard to see if there's anybody there. And but we actually do believe, last time I saw the suspect, he was to the property to the right. So to the right of this gentleman here who's walking, he's checking a portaloo there to see whether there's anybody hiding in there. Their CHP are currently forming up search teams, and they're going to go yard to yard and try and locate these suspects. Just confirmed that they have 2 people that they're looking for, again, from a stolen vehicle. I apologize, not a stolen vehicle, a vehicle, speeding vehicle. We've got the dogs running again here, so possibly they see somebody they like or something that interests them. So we're out in the Syllmar area of Los Angeles. I was saying this is the corner of El Cajon and El Dorado Street. You can see the CHP airship just going through the bottom of frame there. CHP bringing in more units to help assist with their ground search here. They're going to form a ground crew that are going. There's a interesting shot there. You have a CHP officer, gun aimed at something, and this was the last known location, to believe, where the driver went, hence their interest here. So we've got two officers there with, I believe what they refer to as M4 carbine rifles, standard issue for the CHP, pointing those weapons towards the backyard of this house. Unclear what they're seeing, or whether it's just a form of force protection to protect themselves as they make their way towards this backyard, as this was the last known location where the driver entered. Again, this is the end of a pursuit that began out in Palmdale area. The vehicle that was being pursued was actually for speeding, but the vehicle obviously kept going, made its way into this area here off the 5 freeway, and the suspects ditched the vehicle and ran. A very possibly an easy place to find refuge. Lots of trees, large backyards with lots of storage. So finding an easy place to hide here, but the CHP definitely feeling that this gentleman is in the backyard here. And just look at the stance of these officers here. They're really making sure that the area is well protected here, that the suspect has a weapon and does something. They're already certainly in a position to defend themselves. Understand the CHP airship still overhead. As we understand, they're making announcements to the suspects to give themselves up, as well as tell residents, please stay inside your house because there is a police operation that's going on just down the street from you, or even just next door. Just making contact with pilot Jeff. Hey Jeffrey, got any news, mate? Right, okay, thank you. So we've got two scenes here, one where the driver is and one where the passenger is. Down in the bottom left-hand corner here, this is the last known location for the passenger as he ran into the backyard. You can see the homeowner or somebody who lives at this house walking in their backyard. The suspect we saw climbed along the fence here and then made his way under this tree and disappeared. We did not see him re-emerge on the other side of that tree or into this street here. This is Roselle Street. We do believe that the passenger may have removed his jersey or a hoodie, and because they did find a hoodie on the ground, they're saying. So they're looking for someone now wearing tan pants and unclear about what type of shirt, possibly a black shirt. If we look down here, we can see some residents, no doubt startled by what's going on here. Texting, telling their friends, hey, we've got some stuff happening in this area, maybe come around later. They're looking up at the CHP officers with their guns drawn, who have their weapons pointed towards this house. Yep. I believe pilot just telling me that they're actually the driver. The suspect, I believe, is coming out. Hands up, you can see the bottom. They're pointing their guns at somebody, we believe, giving them commands. Go wide. Yep, we can see somebody walking back towards us there, hands in the air. Hey, Michelle, we got one of the suspect, looks like the driver coming out. So if this was the driver of the vehicle, he ran into this address, tried to seek some refuge, and CHP taking him into custody here, giving him orders to get on his knees, hands behind his back, and they'll eventually possibly jump the fence there and bring him into custody. Not taking any risks here. They've got their long guns out, pointed very close to them. Gentleman's not moving, laying flat on the ground. Now officers having to look, see whether they can open that gate, whether it's locked. I copy you, thank you. Just a little bit to the southeast if you can, Jeff. Yes, Sandra, some good news here. CHP officers did a wait and see here. They, I believe the homeowners directed them to this backyard. This is the driver of those vehicle that was in that pursuit that has been given up, taken into custody. Officers had their long guns out there, pointed at him, hands behind them onto his knees and onto his stomach. That's one suspect's been taken into custody. Unfortunately, the passenger of the vehicle, as we saw before, had them on the news earlier, ran up this street here, and we believe into this backyard. That gentleman is still at large, although the dogs are still barking, so it could only just be a matter of time before that passenger is in custody now. Sandra?
All right, Justin, great work. And wow, the end of the pursuit that started in Lancaster, the initial want was for speeding, and obviously things turned out different here. But CHP officials getting these suspects in custody. Thank you so much. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
The KK one is at 10. Did you see 2 or 3 suspects? Well, I thought 3 as well, because the backyard was opening. Sorry, the back door was opening. Yeah, there's a, you're correct, mate. The transmission was, there's another suspect. You know, Vinny taught me a good thing years ago that when you got these suspects running, look at their shoes. Because, yeah, you can never, you can't change your shoes, right? It, it reminds me of, what was, cool. SkyFOX Simon desk. They're talking about having to evacuate residents. Here's an elderly resident having to be helped out of his house. Do you reckon they have eyes on him, mate, or he just knows he's in the shed? I can hear them talking there saying that he's in the shed, so... I, right, right. Oh, okay. No worries, man. Yeah, here he comes. Oh, someone in the backyard. Old guy here says he's not leaving. Oh, there he is. Got him. Is he, you're right, Jeffrey. Is that the address next door? Is they're going in to get him? They're opening the white fence. Yeah. I mean, it's poor people, I hope they don't break the fence. Yeah, this is a second correction there, Michelle. There's actually 3 people got out of the vehicle. Okay. Great, thank you. SkyFOX, TSC News Radio. Hey, Francis, got any chance of making sure the IP is good, mate? Thank you. Standing by. Oh, I gotta lose him. Yes, g'day Sandra again. Good news, they've actually just taken the driver into custody. I'll correct myself, there are actually 3 people got out of that vehicle, not 2. One suspect was taken in a moment ago, we showed you. The other suspect jumped this fence here, he was just arrested. He's being walked around the backyard by the CHP officers into custody. They're still out looking for one outstanding person. Again, this started as a pursuit out in the Lancaster, Palmdale area, travelled into the Syllmar area. So this stage, just recapping, 2 people taken into custody, 1 person still outstanding. And just to note the impact on residents here, we've seen several elderly residents and children having to be removed from houses here for their own safety. But good news here, 2 in custody, 1 still outstanding. Ladies?
finally put out a major blaze that destroyed a warehouse in Montebello this morning.
And now officials have to figure out exactly what burned and what started the fire. Mario Ramirez is on the scene with the latest.
Jen, Sandra, I just checked with fire officials. It's now been over 9 hours, and officials still don't know exactly what was inside that 10,000 square foot warehouse.
Oh, great, thank you. Yeah, that's correct. That's the one I wanted to show you just before we did that last hit, unfortunately. They're still looking for that other one, right, Jeffrey? How do they decide there? They think, okay, this is the most likelihood, or this is where they think the driver went, so go after him, or? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Right, right. Cool, man. I'll just focus on this other house now. They look pretty relaxed, don't they? Oh, video. So just to recap, if you're joining us out here online, Fox 11, thanks for joining us. I'm Justin O'Brien, pilot Jeff behind the controls of SkyFOX today. What we're over here is the end of a pursuit that started out in the Lancaster Palmdale area, travelled about 30 to 40 miles, reached speeds of up to 120 miles per hour. I heard 115 at one stage there through side streets or the open streets out in the Palmdale area. Anyone knows of an area there has large city blocks or large blocks, but it is dangerous. They do come into T intersections. Vehicle ended up getting on the 14 freeway, made its way down the 14 to the 5, took the second exit, the Roxford exit, off the 5 freeway and came in here into the Syllmar area. There were 3 people inside the vehicle. The vehicle is over here. I'll give you a quick shot of that. You see here it's a silver sedan. It has a little bit of damage on the front end of the vehicle. The original want for the vehicle was speeding. So unclear whether there was something else going on. And also Pilot Jeff, former officer from the El Monte PD, is just explaining to me that if it's possible that it was only a speeding crime, they may not chase this passenger because according to Jeff and the way the rules are, the DA only files charges against the driver, not the passengers. So they may decide that it's not worth their time to apprehend this passenger, but we'll wait and see. It seemed a little unusual to me, the amount of effort they were putting in to stop this speeding vehicle, but we'll wait and see. And you may be wondering where Stu Mundell is today. Stu's on vacation. I'm just filling in the seat for him. He's got a couple of days off, but he'll be back soon enough. So a big shout out to the Stu crew and all those guys online who tune in every day to listen to Stu, especially Moy, who runs that site, and all the boys, as well as Marcel. So g'day to Stu crew, and Stu, I hope you're having a good break, mate. Looking down here in this backyard, it's a homeowner. He's got dogs in the backyard, as you can see them there, and they've been doing a lot of barking. So indication is that we haven't seen this suspect move from the area, and I believe that there is a homeowner. He's got a stick for protection by the look of it, and he's gone several times around the backyard looking to see if there is anybody there. They did say they found a hoodie which possibly belonged to the suspect. We've actually got an officer in the backyard now. So this is where 2 officers there, a search party. They are looking for this gentleman. They're not going to give up, which is great news. You can see there they only have an indication of where he must have been because they've got the shield up there for protection. You can see that shield, the CHP officer, or 2 shields, and the other officer there with his M4 carbine rifle at ready in case this suspect is armed. Making their way back towards the street, talking to the neighbour by the look of it there, getting some indication of what they're hearing and what they're seeing. I'm not sure of the weight of those ballistic shields, so you can see the officer there resting it on his shoulder, both of them resting on his shoulder. I imagine they're not too light. And the homeowner there articulating to them where the person may have been seen or what his animals were doing. And just looking at the body language of them there, I think they're going to possibly, if they're going to continue the search, they're going to jump the fence or head into the backyard and look in this area up here. This is where we last saw the suspect. Possibly he made his way under these trees this way, but unclear at this stage. We never saw anybody come out into the open, so my gut feeling would be that the gentleman is still in this area here. So just again, if you're joining us here online, this is in the Syllmar area, El Cajon and El Dorado Avenue in Syllmar, Los Angeles. End of a pursuit. They've taken 2 suspects into custody, a driver and a passenger. And there's one other passenger. I think he came out of the back seat passenger, jumped out, ran this way and into initially through this backyard and over a fence. And CHP officers still looking for him. I understand now they're actually possibly going to go inside this house here to have a look and see whether he went inside the house. They obviously want to try to get him into custody. Unclear. People may ask, hey, you've got the driver, the main guy. The issue is obviously these gentlemen were willing to speed on a freeway like that. He was with known people who potentially have committed crimes. So I think you'd like to just take this person into custody and have a little word with them and just see what their deal is. So you've got the 5 CHP officers there. They're kind of a search party. They're going to make their way into this backyard very shortly, I believe, into the house and see if they can locate this suspect. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't see the canine come out here soon. Certainly he would probably assist in the search. Interesting real estate out here as well. If you're into real estate, the large backyards, very old school area of Los Angeles here. People have lots of storage. You can see lots of cars there. We've got an RV. This gentleman here is either, looks like possibly the son of an owner, or he certainly lives at the address here, keeping an eye out in the backyard. He's got a, by the look of it, a metal stick at the ready, just in case he needs to defend himself. Oh, okay. Thanks, Jeffrey. Is that a golf club? That's a golf club. Yeah, so just pushing in here, possibly this is the area where the gentleman could be hiding, under the tree, possibly under a car. It's just unclear. You would assume that if he is still in the area, he'd be on the side of the fence that the CHP officers are, only because if he wasn't, he'd be able to certainly slink his way through the area here. Interesting backyard, seeing a couple of Humvees there. Great driving vehicles if you have one. Yeah, it's a good chance, Dave. Saying, yeah, saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Yeah, 1, 1, 2. That number doesn't make sense. They said 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. So they're making canine announcements. So even though they don't have the canine, right, just trying to get the guy to come out. There we are. The original one, yeah, where we thought, yeah, north. So we're looking at here. If you're still joining us online, this is the area where we lost sight of them into the backyard here, and you've got a search party here, CHP search party. This is a CHP canine assisting with their search. They're making a plan to make their way to search the back of this property. Lots of little hiding spots there. You've got a boat, a tree. Here goes the canine. He's having a good look around. Hopefully he picks up a scent there. Down here you can see the CHP officers in a force protection mode. They're covering each other. They got the shield there, their long guns out, their pistols. The canine is in front, out sniffing around. They've made several announcements telling this person if they're still there. There's movement there. I don't know if that was the dog or not. And just several announcements that the dog is here to come out with your hands up. Got pilot Jeff behind the controls today. SkyFOX doing a great job positioning us. I'm not sure if you know, pilot Jeff's a former El Monte police officer. Great asset to have up here with us. He often points things out to me as a law enforcement novice, just to keep an eye out and just make sure that you articulate the correct terminology and able to explain precisely the role the police are doing here in their step-by-step moves to try and bring this person into custody. One advantage, obviously, the suspect possibly has here is time. It's been quite a time since that the search party here has made their way to that backyard, which has given him the opportunity to possibly jump a fence, find a better hiding spot. So officers, you know, they're treating this as a deadly serious operation, actually as it is in its words. You can see they've got their guns out there ready to use deadly force if this suspect brandishes some type of weapon towards them. Fingers crossed this gentleman will hear the barking dog eventually and decide it's a good time to give up. His two other mates are already in custody. Again, this started as a pursuit out in the Lancaster, Palmdale area, 30 to 40 miles outside of LA, reaching speeds of up to 120 miles per hour, coming down the 14 freeway, eventually onto the 5, coming to a stop here in the Syllmar area. The three gentlemen in the vehicle jumped out here at El Dorado and El Cajon and have made their way trying to find hiding spots. Two of them, as I said before, just then, that have been taken into custody, the driver and another passenger. But this other passenger is still outstanding. There is some talk that they did find a sweatshirt or a hoodie, so possibility this person has tried to change their appearance. But certainly if you own this house and you know you don't have any friends over, you kind of know this guy isn't welcome in your backyard. So again, they have to go through everything to see where this person is. Possibly could be hiding inside that boat, and looks like it, which is not a bad hiding spot. So the CHP officers on the ground still must have some sort of gut feeling that the suspect is still in the area. Obviously, they had an airship above the whole time, so they didn't see anybody leaving. And you can see the stance there. They're treating it very seriously, that the suspect could be there, no doubt, not wanting to come out. That's their issue here. They've got to go through each piece of equipment there, look under the vehicles, possibly in that boat, make their way back towards the end of this fence and the storage unit, check everything to see where this suspect possibly could be hiding. You've got two CHP officers there in the blue uniforms. The other officers are wearing the traditional grey, and the dog here just directing the dog to stop, search. They're going methodically through this area here, just making sure that they cover the area and make sure that this suspect, if he is here, that he is found. Look like the dog handler was putting the leash back on the dog. You can see CHP officers there. We're in the blue kit, two K9 officers, and the traditional CHP patrol grey. They have a M4 carbine shot long gun there, as well as their pistols directed towards the boat. This is like some sort of looks like a 30 to 35 foot motor cruiser under the tree there, potentially hiding. The gentleman could be hiding in there. You can see the dog occasionally come through a screen under the tree. He's looking around. Certainly they've warned the suspect that the dog is there. So, and you can see the dog there having a bit of a sniff, looking around to see if it sees anything or picks up any scent that possibly could direct the officers to this gentleman who they believe is still hiding in this backyard. It looks like the officer's going to take another direction here. They still, I imagine they still feel pretty good that the suspect is in this backyard. The airship never saw them leave. The boat, it's a very good hiding spot. I recall back to the Boston Marathon bombing, if you remember that tragic event. They found that bomber, or the younger brother. He was actually hiding in a vessel very similar. So it's not unusual to see somebody take refuge and hide in a boat. Lots of hiding spots there in the cabin or in the sole or a locker. So, and the tree there giving great coverage, foliage for a place to hide away from the helicopters. So meaning that officers have to just go in on the ground. And with the suspect being if possibly still in there, possibly even in the boat, up off the ground. You know, the dog, the canine is there. Still unusual. He's going to have trouble probably. He'll get a sniff of him, but can probably only bark. Won't actually be able to get him, grab him, bring him out. So it'll be officers having to actually go into there and get him out if that's the case that he actually is in there. So just to give you a recap, if you're still joining us or just joining us here on the live stream, Fox 11, I'm Justin O'Brien, filling in for Stu Mundell. A good mate's got a couple of days off, having a bit of a vacation. Hope he's enjoying himself. Down here is a pursuit vehicle was being pursued by CHP. Started in the Lancaster Palmdale area, came down the 14 freeway to the 5 freeway, and then made its way into this suburb here. It's a suburb in the San Fernando Valley, Los Angeles, Syllmar, and the suspects exited the 5 freeway and made their way to this side streets. This is the corner of El Cajon and El Dorado. The three suspects got out of the vehicle, ran. Two suspects made their way this way to these houses, hid behind a shed, took refuge there for about 30 minutes before CHP were able to bring them into custody. Created quite an inconvenience for the residents, some elderly residents and children who had to be evacuated out of their houses and nearby houses as police with guns drew the individuals out into handcuffs. Then one suspect, another passenger, ran up the street here and made his way into this backyard. That's where we last saw them. You can see a lot of CHP officers here, K9 units. The CHP ship just went through screen there. They do believe that the suspect is possibly still at the location. We have 5 CHP officers in the backyard here with a K9. They've got a shield. They've got their long guns and pistols at the ready, talking to the suspect or making announcements, telling him if there is the suspect still there to come out. You can see one of the CHP officers in blue there. Here's one of the K9 guys talking to the other officers, possibly directing them to what areas they've searched. They're very interested in the boat here. They've been directing a lot of their attention towards that boat under the canopy. Looks like a 30 to 40, 35 foot cabin cruiser. These lots up here are very large lots in Syllmar. If anybody knows real estate in the area of Los Angeles, these lots traditionally more of what I would refer to as an industrial lot. You can see great place to store your belongings, and people here you see cars. You can see a couple of Humvees there, RVs, boats. So great little place to hide if the suspect's still here. Pilot Jeff, from Heli Inc. Behind the controls today of SkyFOX, doing a great job relaying information from the CHP airship. If anyone doesn't know, Jeff, former El Monte PD police officer, 20 years of service there, and always a great asset to have up. He's actually correcting me, 30 years. I probably just took a little bit of his monthly paycheck off, whatever the retirement is. But they're retired after 30 years with the El Monte PD, now flying us up here. Great asset to have, knowing what to look for as a reporter here over police events, giving tips and articulating what the rules are, what the laws are, things that always a great help when you're reporting from up here and just trying to paint a picture for the public and everyone at home what we're seeing and what it actually means. And you see the CHP officers in action here. These are your taxpayer dollars in action, and you know, this gentleman they're trying to find here, we don't know, he could be an innocent passenger just trying to hide, and then again he could be somebody wanted for some other offense. So they definitely want to find him, put him in handcuffs and just have a chat to see what's going on. Big shout out too again to everybody out there in the Stu crew. Stu Mundell, a good mate of mine, on vacation at the moment, just filling in the chair for him. He's got a bit of a big fan club there, and that fan club is run by Moy. G'day Moy, and Marcel as well. You can see the officers there. They've gone around the backyard here. They've almost done a full search of this backyard. So it might indicate this suspect may have been able to slip through the net and get away. The last time we saw him, the gentleman made his way along the fence and went over this tree into the backyard. So he had plenty of time. It's been a good hour now since he made that jump in behind that tree. So maybe only he knows where he is, if he does know where he is. Just to recap here, they've actually looking here, they've put the dog into the boat. As we were assuming before, they're showing great interest in this boat to see whether the suspect was in the boat. They've got the flashlight there now, pointing towards. I might just hold this position if you could, please, Jeff. And they're looking into the bottom of the boat, or the what we refer to as the sole, and they had the dog there. They lifted him up, and unclear whether actually the individual is in there. They're showing great interest there now. I would have thought if they had the dog up there, he may have actually gone in there, but possibly the gentleman could be just holding in there if he is in there still. Thanks again for joining us here on the Fox 11 stream. If you're still watching, Justin O'Brien with pilot Jeff behind the controls of SkyFOX this afternoon. Again, we're at the end of a pursuit here out in the Syllmar area. Began in the Lancaster area, Palmdale, 40 miles away. All 40-mile pursuit, traveling speeds of up to 115, 120 miles per hour. What you're looking at here is CHP officers. There are 4 officers there, 2 canine guys who are looking for one of the suspects who I believe entered or exited the rear of the vehicle. There were 3 suspects, 2 are already in custody, and they just want to get that third. And this is happening out at the El Dorado and, excuse my memory for a second, El Dorado and El Cajon streets out in Syllmar. You can see the large CHP presence here. They've called in reinforcements here to help with this search and doing these large blocks I would refer to as an industrial block here in Syllmar. Mixed use storage with houses, and CHP making a thorough search of this backyard. This is the area where the last suspect was last seen, and you can see them there. Interestingly, they've got one CHP officer with his pistol pointed into the boat. The other suspects, the other officers are with their backs to him, almost just in case the gentleman is behind them. They must be making some. Obviously, we cannot hear what they're saying. Would assume they're trying to make some announcement down there. You got to give it to these CHP guys. They're not giving up. They really want to get this guy, and there you are. There, they're doing their best to find this suspect. Again, he was a passenger. The vehicle originally was wanted for speeding. So, as pilot Jeff, former Monty police officer, explained, the DA usually doesn't charge passengers of vehicles that have been speeding. So the likelihood this gentleman won't come out because he could possibly be wanted for something else. And even so, I'm sure CHP officers just want to have a chat to him anyway, just to see who he is, what his history is, and maybe ask him, hey, why did you just come out, mate? Here they are. They're pulling back the tarpaulin, trying to get a better view where this gentleman, if he is still here, could be hiding. Very interesting here. It looks like they're using the shield to block the view of the officers as they make entrance. They're actually going to have to go into the boat there by the looks of it and search it cabin by cabin. Brave move there by that officer. He's going in there blind, so to speak, unable to see what's hidden or anybody that's hidden. I would expect that person that's in there, if there is someone there, they'd be given up pretty quickly. Last thing you want is to have 2 armed officers coming at you and not complying. And obviously, you know, there's a very dangerous situation here for the officers. They have no idea if that person is still there, who that person is, and whether they're armed. So they're treating it very cautiously. A very dangerous situation. You know, their visibility is blocked. Our visibility is blocked. There is a CHP airship overhead, no doubt giving them information about if they do see anybody leaving the area. At this stage, the CHP airship was over the scene when it first went down, so we didn't see anybody, which gives us indication that that third passenger, the suspect in that vehicle, is still here, possibly under this tree, as was the last location that we saw him when we were up here in SkyFOX. Thanks again for joining us on the Fox 11 stream here, out in the Syllmar area at the end of a police pursuit. Big shout out to my good mate Stu. You may be wondering where Stu is. Stu's actually got a couple of days off on vacation, so I hope he's having a good relaxing time. No doubt probably got the phone on watching this, as pursuits are in his blood. Anybody that knows Stu, good guy, very close friend of mine. And a big shout out to the Stu crew, all those guys, all these friends that follow him online through Moy on their Facebook group, Stu Crew Live. Good guys, and Marcel too. So g'day out there, Moy, everybody who's still watching this out there online on their stream. So we're out here in the Syllmar area. Believe the suspect could be taking refuge in this boat if he is still here. CHP officers have made a good search of this whole area, and this could possibly be the last location that they're going to look. So fingers crossed that their efforts don't come up short here this afternoon as they make their, I apologize, still this morning. It feels like this afternoon when you get up at 3 a.m. But hopefully their efforts are rewarded here at least to take the suspect into custody and just have a word with him and try to articulate why the gentleman didn't come out, if he still is in this area. Again, Pilot Jeff behind the controls of SkyFOX this afternoon, doing a great job. Currently we're doing an orbit. Just to give you a bit of a situational view, large backyards out here. What I'd refer to, as I said before, industrial blocks of mixed use. You have a house at the front of the block, and then these large storage areas in the back, which this gentleman appears. You can see the CHP airship there still in the air, just going through screen, giving a support to the units on the ground. We have about 3 or 4 officers out front of the house, just in case the suspect does come running and is able to make his way back out onto the main street. Making our way as we come around here, get a better view into the rear of that boat. The officers, by the looks of it, have disappeared into that vessel, and would indicate, as I said, it looks to me like a 30 to 35 foot cabin cruiser. Lots of hiding spots there with a galley and a head, and no doubt a saloon where people could where you could sleep. Nice little boat to take out to Catalina Island if you're into that sort of thing. I might get you, just have a chat to Pilot Jeff. I might get just a hold here, please, Jeffrey. You can see the CHP officer there helping the dog down. By the looks of it, their search wasn't successful. Just from the body language, you can tell that you know, they're more relaxed than they would be if they had a suspect in custody. So they're continuing their search. They've searched the boat there, and they're going to direct their attention here to this storage shed. Looks like a shipping container. Yep. What do you want me to tell them, Jeffrey? Just your 5 minutes, mate, or 10, or? Yeah. Yep, yep. I get a gut feeling that yeah, Michelle, Melissa, we got 30 minutes of fuel left. Yeah, mate. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, certainly. Just want to say thank you very much for joining us on the. Or, just want to say g'day. Thank you very much for joining us on the digital stream from Pilot Jeff, myself, Stu, everyone back at Fox 11. Thanks a lot for joining us. Just to recap, end of pursuit here in the Syllmar area. 2 suspects in custody, and by the looks of it, they're going to get a third. They're not going to give up. So all the best, and hopefully we'll catch you next time. You join us here at Fox 11 for the best pursuits in Los Angeles. KCAL wants at 11, mate.